really wanted to use this as an opportunity to say hi, first of all, and welcome. Really looking forward to training you. And I wanted just to explain a little bit around the methodology that I'm teaching with my yoga, because it's a little bit different. We're really using the power of our breath through the practice. So we are inhaling usually for a count of 4. So we inhale to our fullness, so nice big inhale, and we exhale to our emptiness through the practice. And we're using our nose, inhaling through our nose, exhaling through our nose most of the time. And we're trying, the purpose of the practice is to try and really relax our body, relax our mind. Most of the time we're like this, aren't we? We're like tense, clenched fist. So what we're trying to do is just relax. You know, with a tense fist, you can't get your fingers out very easily without a lot of effort. But with a relaxed hand, you can move. And we're trying to do that with our whole body. So we use our breath, we use the power of our breath to try and relax our body. So it's worth pointing out that one of the most difficult things in this yoga practice is actually sitting. So really encourage you to come along with a number of cushions, depending on where you're training. If it's Harrow Art Centre, bring some cushions, but if it's Solent in Elstree, then we've got plenty of cushions there for you. But what you want to be doing is really propping yourself up. So imagine these are 3 or 4 cushions, nice and high, probably not that high, but you get the idea. And basically what we're doing is we're trying to take the tension out of our body right at the get-go, right when we first start seating, because most of the time when we sit just normally on the floor, we're kind of like this, aren't we? We're really tense, it's really awkward. We start getting tension down our thighs, into our butt. You try it, see how long you can sit for, relax. So what we do is we get nice and high up, and then we bolster, we put cushions underneath our knees or yoga blocks, whichever is most comfortable. And then we can lengthen up our spine. Then we can relax these legs, because once these legs start tensing up, our back's going to start, our lower back's going to start getting really awkward. And so it's really important just to practice this a little bit if you can, if you've got time before your first practice, just to kind of settle in and get a sense of how can I sit more comfortably. Play around with the height of the cushions underneath you. Play around with however much support you need. I have a little bolster, still tiny little bolster. It just helps me to sit more comfortably. And what we're aiming for eventually is that our hips are in line with our knees. And that means that we can lengthen up, bring our shoulders up and back, and really sit comfortably in when we're doing our breath work, when we're doing our pranayama, or when we're just sitting at the start or at the end of practice observing our body. So just going back to the breath. So we're gonna inhale for a count of 4. And what we're trying to do is, with our breath, most of the time we are breathing just in our chest. We're pretty stressed out most of the time. So when we think about our breath, we're probably only using about 40% of the breath if we are just breathing in our chest. And we want to try and open up our breathing. And this may well be one of the most difficult things to start with, just to get used to it, actually learning how to inhale fully. And we inhale fully by relaxing our tummy and breathing into our tummy. So we're actually using our lower lungs. And so you can practice that by literally just relaxing your tummy and pushing your belly out as you inhale. So inhale with your belly pressed out. But then keep drawing the breath in. And you'll notice if you have your left hand on your tummy and your right hand on your chest, if you inhale, press your belly out, obviously that left hand comes out. And then as you continue to inhale, you'll notice that chest starts to come out, that right hand is moving, and then you exhale all the way out. So inhale fully, and then exhale all the way out. And that's what we're trying to implement through the whole practice. Now, when we start to work with the movement and the stretches, we start very simply, okay? And we do that because we just want to get used to the idea of working with breath and movement. So just one particular example of that, which we can do. So if you just sit with your arms pressing into the mat, take the lock out of your elbow, keep nice and tall, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling, chin is parallel to the mat. If you bring your feet forward, so your feet are together, top and bottom, and then inhale, coming back. So keep your eyes closed, inhale, coming back. Inhale to your fullness and exhale to your emptiness. And what you're trying to do is time the movement so that you reach your emptiness at the point at which your toes are pointing forward, and then you inhale, coming back. And you just work like that. So you get an idea, and this is obviously a very simple example of how we can move in practice. Then the other aspect of practice is that when we're in a stretch, we'll hold in a stretch for a while. So I'll give you a good example. In Hatha, in Vinyasa particularly, what tends to happen is we work with a flow. So we might come into the warrior pose, for example. So I'll get into that for a second. So there's the warrior, and then we might go inhale, reverse warrior, up, and we might come back into the warrior with the exhale, and then come down with the inhale, back up to the warrior, for example. But in my yoga practice, we actually stay in the poses. So we're here for, let's say, 3 rounds of breath, inhaling fully, exhaling to emptiness. And with that exhale, we're trying to relax. We're relaxing our body. Every time we exhale, we're letting go. So if you imagine we're here, we're having 3 rounds of breath here at least, looking under our armpit. And so that stretch, we're actually breaking through with the stretch so much more powerfully. By inhaling fully, we expand out, we create a greater stretch. By exhaling to emptiness, we create another stretch in another way. But also, we are releasing and letting go. And that's a really important part of the practice. Because we're releasing and letting go, we can get deeper and deeper and deeper. We can get further much faster. It's a very, very effective method of breaking through your body, breaking through that stiffness that you've got in the body, that joint immobility. There is a focus on hips, there is a focus on hamstrings, there is a focus on back, because these are the areas of the body that are locking us up, creating that tension, and the more locked up, the more tense we get. So the aim is to free your body and your mind of this tension, and then you're going to slowly but surely start to break through. You will see progress from one week to the next, and I'll send you a little video every single week to do some home practice, and slowly but surely you'll get there, I promise you. Really looking forward to training with you, and can't wait to see you on the mat. Take care.